Hi, fellow traders. What's happening? I hope you guys enjoyed your holiday. I know I enjoyed mine. I always extend mine out. So I enjoyed those extra days that I had refreshed and, had an awakening, so to speak. One comment last week helped me solve my whole problem for the year, believe it or not. And I'm going to talk about that Wednesday, along with all the changes and everything that's going to be happening in the community. Kind of a reorientation. And that's going to happen Wednesday during our normal class time. So instead of doing a video, I decided to do it live in class so that you guys can ask questions about any changes that we're making, and it's all to enhance your experience. This community, we're small. I don't take any more than 150 people, active at one time. There's always less than 100 people in the chat room at a time because some can only come in the morning, some can only come in the evening, and their opportunities, abound. But I do that so that, I can focus on everybody that needs that attention or that wants that attention, that I'm there for that. But we're gonna do that Wednesday. To everybody else, if you are interested in knowing what's going on, I will post that the video or the recap of that session online, and offer you to come in next week to kind of see what's going on and see if you like what's happening in the community. So, but that'll be after that video, because I'm going to want you to watch that first so you can have a good understanding when you come in. You know exactly what's going on. So that's what we got coming up. And I know you've been looking at this sticky note long enough. I'm sorry. I apologize for the language. But sometimes I need to do that to get my point across to myself. And this is one of the issues that I've had. I lose money, and I realized this a long time ago. When you trade inside channels, intraday channels, you lose money. For me. Now, you can scalp inside that. And I'm going to show you an example of that today. But you can scalp inside those channels if that's your mindset and that's what you're looking to do. I'm not looking to scalp. I'm looking for smooth momentum back moves. Now, I'm not looking for explosive moves and things that go up $2 in 30 seconds. Now, I'm not looking for that. I'm just looking for momentum created by buyers or sellers coming in at a predetermined key level. And that's all I'm looking for. So whenever I lose money, and most people lose money when they start trading in these channels. And I introduced them in a video, one of the last videos I did, when I talked about, my trading unboxed, or I can't remember what the name of the video is right now. But what it did was it kind of showed you what I meant by these channels. So let's look at a couple of trades today. These first couple of trades, these are actually trades I took in my TD Ameritrade account. I've been working this DOS platform for the last month. Because when I switch over and I start using this day trading every day, I don't need any issues. I don't want any problems. And it's not DOS, because DOS, the platform, is perfect. It's the connection that DOS has with TD Ameritrade. They're trying to get their system to talk to TD Ameritrade system, and so they get the information. The problem is TD Ameritrade system is slow. Sometimes it's slow to react. Even though the trade is executed and it's on, DOS is slow getting the data back, the confirmation back that the trade was executed. So that 2 days out of last month, and they were back to back, I had issues with the trade being taken off. I executed it through DOS. I heard it execute on Thinkorswim. I have Thinkorswim up because I use their charting. So anytime I take a trade, the alert goes off in Thinkorswim. So I know the trade is executed. But the trade had executed, but it was still showing live in my DOS platform. And so that prevents you from trading in DOS. But it only happened 2 days, and I think they kind of got it fixed after the second day I called in, and maybe other people experienced the same thing, but haven't had any problems since. So TD has been working really, really good. And this is case in point. This is the 5-minute opening range breakdown. Now, this candle had a huge wick. So whenever that happens, I revert back to the body. And I use the bottom of the wick as my first profit target. So that's pretty much what happened here. And you can see I entered 14 seconds after this candle started printing. And this is even after the internet started acting up. And it was, and that's what caused me to take this off a little bit early. The internet was messed up. It locked up. It came back on. I was able to take profit here. And then the next thing I know, it froze. And then I saw it again, and we were up here, trading up here. And I just took it off and, switched over to the other computer. And, that's when we got back in here. Once we broke the low here and started trading. And turned out to be a really good trade. I didn't miss anything. All right, but what I want you to see here, we take the first initial 5-minute opening range trade. Okay, we're out. What happens here on a short, it puts in a bottom, and when it bounces, it puts in a top. At that point, I've got the first channel of the day. Okay, this is the first channel of the day. So according to my rules, there's no trading inside of this channel. If it breaks out to the upside and I've got room, I could take it. In this case, if it broke out to the long side, there was no taking this because of all of these levels that it could run into and reject. And you can see every time it hit one of these levels, we got a little rejection and pullback. But it traded through these. But if you're a scalper, these are good scalp moves. You scalp the move between the moving averages. You size up a little bit and you trade larger size for smaller moves. To me, that philosophy doesn't work for me. I'm not saying it's wrong. People that do it well can make money. I can't do it well. So I don't really engage in that. So that's why I always wait for it to come back. So now we broke the channel to the long side, going back to the long side. We claimed this channel. But again, there was not enough room for me. It wasn't a clean sweep. Not until we got up here and I took this and forgot that this was the red to green line. This was yesterday's close price, which acts as support or resistance. This is another level that we need to be aware of every day. And for some reason, I didn't see it. The scale on the chart was messed up. So when I got in it, I looked at the DOS chart and I realized, damn, the scale was off on the Thinkorswim because I had blown it up and kind of missed this. So this was a mistake, but I took profit here because I knew if it rejects here, at least, I made a mistake, but at least it didn't cost me any money. I was able to add a couple bucks. So, I took it off here. And then as we rejected, I decided to, okay, I'm going to short this. We rejected red to green. Let's short this. Let's see if we can, get the sell off. I got to the first target here and it hit the 200 and bounced. I was waiting to take profit here at 210.50, but it just didn't sell. We didn't get the wick down here enough and end up covering the last piece of this. And then that was that. You can see it kind of traded sideways the rest of the day. But that was SQ. So what I did here was I was on the phone, not on the phone, I was on Skype doing a mentor session, and we were talking about trading in tight channels, inside, or scalping in channels. So I did this. So when I took this trade, we were talking about scalping. And so that's why I should have taken it here. If you're scalping, you take these moves. You got to take it off at the at potential areas of support if you are shorting. But I didn't do it here. Like I said, I'm not perfect at this. I tend not to make the right decisions. That's why I don't do it. But I was just demonstrating as to how, if you were scalping, this is how you would kind of do it. But you do it with more size. And I didn't take that much size. But that was that. So, pretty nice lick on this. Pretty nice lick on SQ. 5-minute opening range breakdown. And then we did a little scalping up there, but that was it. So Roku, this was another trade I took in Thinkorswim. This was a later trade. Here's the initial run up. Here's a pullback. Kind of looks like a flag, doesn't it? I don't anticipate the flag breaks. I like to see these. This is part of my continuation strategy. So I wait to get confirmation, or I wait for it to break the high. In this case, once it broke the high, I got in, took some profit up here, and it didn't quite get to 287, which was my next target. I think didn't quite get there. Pulled back, stopped me out at break even. And here's where patience comes in. I didn't get back in this trade because I had a lot. By the afternoon, I'm typically doing a lot of other things. But you see the big pullback here. If you're a scalper, perfect windows of opportunity to catch little moves, size up, catch these little moves between moving averages. That's just not me. You sit back and you wait. Here, the stock broke the channel. Probably would have given you another point up. We pulled back. It might have stopped you out. You're patient. You wait for it to take out channels. So you could have bought on the break, or we're after lunch, so you want to wait for confirmation. All right, you want to wait for confirmation on this. So you wait for it to close, and you want to see another candle make a higher high. So the entry on this would have been, you could wait, you could get in as soon as you made a new high on this candle, or you could wait for this candle to close and then get in on the high. Either way, you would have made money. And basically ran this up into the close. So it's all about being patient, staying away from this type of action that can take your money. Anything that you made here, this is where people start to lose it. Because they get in, they start to see it going against them. They're looking at their P&L. They're like, I don't want to lose any more money, so I take it off. And then if it starts to work, you're going to chase it back up. And you're trading in a channel. You're trading between support and resistance. And the stock is not giving you an idea of where it needs to go. And it has to do that for you to make money. So we have to be patient and we have to wait. That's why this trading is really, really simple. The hard part is the mental game. And a big part of that mental game is being patient and waiting for your setups to trigger. Because you're watching the stock move and you're like, man, if I would have just taken it, I could have made all this money. All right. So the next time you do this and you get chopped out, it doesn't work like this every time. More times than not, it doesn't work. So, we have to do what our edge, whatever it takes to give us our edge, and this is it. All right, so I think that's the last trade I wanted to share with you. Oh no, here's, and we talked about this earlier. Here, just put in another top of a channel, it pulled back. And you can see it just kind of fizzled around here. So you gotta really wait for it to break. So there's really no trades on this. It just so happened that at the close, this thing ran up a little bit. But there was no clean trade here. So I wanted to make sure I pointed that out. Oh, BA, this is the last one. This is another channel break. Here, you can see at the open, we made a huge move. Of course, I wasn't trading BA. I didn't catch this opening range breakdown. So here would have been the 5-minute opening range low. Here's the first candle to close below it. This candle confirms it. And you had a trade all the way down. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than this. The problem is you can't trade these strategies. You got to pick one stock and stick to it. If you try to chase everything that moves, you're going to lose your shirt. So that's why you always see me focus. And I'm not chasing a stock that somebody says is moving. If I'm in a stock, if I'm locked in, that's what it's going to take. And several members emailed me their charts. They made a killing on this. They made a killing. It was just, some of them took it long, took profit here, took profit up around through 217, and then they caught the breakdown. So they made a ton of money before 11 o'clock. That's not the goal, but that's a possibility if you stay locked in on one stock. So here I waited. You can see we were trading through, back below, back through, back below, back through. Look, lower high, lower high, lower high. This support was holding. Once this support breaks, odds are it's going to sell off. And that's exactly what we're looking for. That's exactly what happened here. So these moves happen all day, every day. It's just a matter of staying locked in and staying focused. The days that I don't do well are the days that I'm not locked in, I'm not focused, I'm all over the place. And so you don't do yourself any good trading like that. And you could see once it set in, it put in the bottom of this channel, which was it took out the bottom of this one. And what I do is I call the macro channel is the big channel, and once they start putting channels in between, they're micro channels. And again, you could scalp them, but that's not what I do. So that was the end of the trades on Thinkorswim. This is what I did in the community. Well, I shared SQ with you guys in the community this morning, so you did get to see that out of Thinkorswim. But mRNA, this was an opening range breakout attempt. Unfortunately, this is when the internet froze, and so I didn't realize it froze. I thought my order didn't go through, so I clicked it twice. I clicked the buy button twice, and what happened, I clicked market in first, and then I clicked my hot button, and next thing I know, I was in double size. Now, I don't like being in 600 shares on a stock like mRNA. I was kind of freaking out there for a minute. But thankfully, the internet was messed up, and I was focusing on everything, and I wasn't able to have a nervous breakdown. So once I got a point out of this, I took half off so that I was in the right size, but then it pulled right back in and turned around and stopped me out at break even. Good thing is I picked up a point on this. So that was a good thing. And you can see it practically traded inside this channel. It put in a high, put in the top. This is the low. The pullback after the 5-minute opening range. It put in this channel, and it pretty much traded in there. Now, I did accidentally, I was wanting to take this channel break on this account, but because I had TD up as well, they both look identical, DOS platform, so I accidentally got in this in the other account, but you can see it popped up. We had to take it right back off because it didn't make a higher high, and it started to sell, so I went ahead and killed it. But it pulled back, and you can see it beat against this. Here's the gearing up. We're making higher lows. It's beating itself up against this resistance, and then once it pops, it confirms right here. There's the entry. There's a big move right here going into the close. And then after the close, it pulls back. Here's the next setup. Right here. Now, I know it traded sideways a little bit. But look, this is why I trade after market sometimes. You find these moves after market. They work pre-market. They work after market. All right. Last trade. This was the big one. NVAX. Here's the opening range high. And this pushed up. It pulled back. We got the bounce. Same deal that you see me do all the time. Here's the break. It put in the top of the channel. It pulled back. I didn't mark this because it was right on red to green. So I try not to put levels so close to each other that they get lost. So this would be the bottom of the channel. This is the top. Once it broke the top, we get in a channel break. Now, one could argue, yeah, you can anticipate this and you make some extra money. You can, but that doesn't fit my risk parameter, my risk tolerance. I like to be able to manage my trades and have a really good stop, a really tight stop that's not going to choke the trade. And so if I get in right on this channel break, this is perfect. And you can see I was just taking profit. I hit my final target. It pulled back. And it started to bounce again. I think I got back in it. Took, profit here. It came back. It stopped me out. And again, one could argue once we bounced here, you could trade here. Yeah, this is a nice scalp. But I don't want this. I'm waiting for the channel break. I can manage my risk a little bit better. And here we go. Right on up. Now, I got spooked out of this. Amateur move. Okay? I'm not going to lie. I got spooked out of this amateur move. Missed this. But I waited. We got a little pullback. And was able to get in. Basing my risk off of the low of this candle. And we had a nice move. It almost got to almost pushed up, but it hit my targets. So, I was done with it. I was waiting for it to pull back, and if it broke the channel again, I would have been back in this. But you can see it kind of fell back in and kind of traded in these channels the rest of the day. So really, really good trading with the exception of 1 or 2 hiccups today. Was really happy about that. So 1503.25. 1503.25. Now, I didn't go back and give the total. I didn't give the total on the TD Ameritrade because the members who get there, I have a group that they get a percentage of the profits I make out of this small account or so-called small account that I'm trading. So I didn't want them to get confused. If I show the other one, I don't want them thinking, getting the two mixed up. So I'm only showing the total of the complete day minus all of the fees and stuff on this one. But that's where we ended up. But again, Wednesday, we're going to have our fire and brimstone come to Jesus, however you want to characterize it. Going to share some really interesting things with you and some changes that we're going to do that hopefully will enhance your learning experience. My whole purpose is to help you guys learn how to become self-sufficient traders, that you don't need me. So you saw what I did with the swing trading. Unfortunately, today I couldn't get in swings because the internet was messed up this morning. But, Apple did pretty good. There are a couple of stocks that did pretty good today. Just couldn't get in. So maybe tomorrow I'll look and see what's setting up. I'll send out some. You'll get them on the member tweet account. You'll see them on there, and we'll see if we can grab some swings tomorrow. So that wraps it up for me today. I know it was a little long, making up for lost time, but you guys have a great night, and I'll see you in the morning.